Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with me today as we talk about a crime wave that occurred last night. It started with two people, and it started on the old Tampa highway where two suspects arrived in a red vehicle and acted as if they were going to put air in the tire of one of their vehicles and ultimately stole a vehicle. And you can see with this video that we're about to see how the people who worked at the business tried to intervene and stop the thieves from leaving with a car. The car that's going to be stolen is in the center. The guy doing the stealing is to the right with a backpack. And the red vehicle they were in is just off camera. That's the old Tampa highway. He picks up, we believe that's the air hose or the water hose, whatever it is. He scrambles, he gets in the car in the center. Keep in mind that car's just been worked on, so they've got it running to see how it works. He jumps in the car, he starts to leave. The people at the shop try to stop him. They even pick up a rock and throw at him, but he steals the car. That's on the old Tampa highway at about 7:20 last night. This is the guy, Neil Borsey. He's 25 years of age. He's from Mulberry, and he is the one that steals the car along with his buddy. Well, not long after that, and not far away, we find the red Dodge that they came to that location in abandoned, broken down at Southern and Hickory Street, and this is in West Lakeland. And just a couple of streets over from that, we find the Nitro that they stole, the Dodge Nitro, on Ruby Street, abandoned. So when they abandoned this vehicle, then they went to 1500 West Highland, which is a mobile home community, and they acted like they had a gun in their pocket to try to get a set of car keys from an individual to steal their car. And that's important because as our suspect is acting like he's got a gun, when they refuse to give him the keys, he takes his finger out and says, "Bang," and walks off. That will become important later on. Then he goes to another location at 1500 West Highland Street, this mobile home community, and asks for a set of keys from another victim. He's refused. He cuts the victim there, significant enough that he has to have emergency surgery and is intubated at Lakeland Regional Health. And he leaves there without a car. So he's tried on 2 occasions to steal another car, and 3 events in just a short period of time. Then he goes to Josephine Street, which is another street in the area, where he successfully steals a Continental MKS Lincoln. It's white. So between the sheriff's office and the Lakeland Police Department, we are feverishly looking for this wild man who has now stolen 2 vehicles, tried to steal 2 more vehicles, and gashes someone with a knife or a razor. At about 2 o'clock this morning, a little after 2 this morning, we locate the vehicle on Highway 98 south of Lakeland and 540A northbound. The deputies begin to converge on the vehicle, and they now see it northbound on Cumbie Road. From northbound on Cumbie Road, they're setting their perimeter, calling for air support. We've not engaged the vehicle in a pursuit, But the guy obviously knows we're behind him because he turns onto Denver Street, which is off of East Main Street in the east side of Lakeland. Now he's gone from West Lakeland stealing cars to South Lakeland, and he's back up in East Lakeland. He drives behind an unknown person's house on Denver Street where the vehicle gets stuck. So he says to himself, "Self, I got a problem. I can no longer flee in this vehicle," and he jumps out and he runs. By this time, our aviation unit is there and engaged, and the aviation unit sees the suspect in the area of Nansemond, which is a street close to Denver, and notifies one of the perimeter units, Deputy Sheriff Warren, who's by himself, that, hey, he's standing next to a house in the Nansemond area. As the deputy's approaching, he flees on foot from the deputy through a backyard and bounces off of one fence. Now, we've still got to do further investigation, but we find out that that fence is electrified. Now, whether it's turned on or not, or for whatever reason, he can't get over that fence as he's running from the deputy. So he turns and continues to flee. Now we have a deputy with 4 years of experience. He's worked for us 1 year and has 3 years of experience with the Bartow Police Department. Very mature deputy, very professional deputy, by himself, chasing a violent felon through backyards in the pitch dark, all alone. As he's now chasing this suspect, the suspect starts screaming at the deputy, "I've got a gun, I've got a gun, I've got a gun." Well, when you tell us you have a gun, we're going to take you at your word. So when the deputy catches up with him next to a fence in the backyard, from his jacket, he pulls a cell phone. At that moment in time, the deputy starts shooting, and he shoots 7 times. Our suspect goes down. It's been my experience that the moment you start shooting somebody with a gun, it immediately modifies their behavior. They're no longer interested in being the bad guy. They just want help. When he went to the ground, we obviously took him in custody, started providing first aid, and transported him to Lakeland Regional. He's currently in critical but stable condition. We expect that he will survive. We also found on the ground there with him a knife, a blade, a retractable blade. And we're working to see if we tie that back to the person that he cut on the west side of Lakeland. So he's in custody. Our deputy is all right, but once again, this shows the danger that deputies face every day. And it shows how our deputy did exactly what he should have done at that moment in time in order to protect himself. I can only surmise, because this guy's got an illustrious history. At only 25 years old, he's got 9 previous arrests in both Pennsylvania and Florida. Everything from drugs to robbery to burglary, that when he saw the deputy closing in on him and he knew that he didn't have a gun, he had to do something to try to get the deputy off of him. So he announces, "I've got a gun, I've got a gun." We appreciate him giving us the warning. So when he spins around with that black object in his hand that we believe is a cell phone, as opposed to the knife, which was also there, that's when he got shot. That's when we took him into custody. He chose for us to take him into custody that way. We didn't choose to take him into custody that way. That was his choice. That's on him. and he caught some lead as a result of it. Okay? Any questions?
What happened to the other guy that he was originally in?
The other guy we haven't found. He fell off the radar screen back after he took off from the old Dade City Highway. I'm sorry, the old Tampa Highway. And when this guy reappears, I don't know why he abandoned the nitro. It had been being worked on. Maybe it quit working again. And he starts trying to steal cars. And ultimately he's successful. We don't see or hear any more of the other suspect from the time this guy goes on a rampage in West Lakeland trying to steal cars and ultimately cutting someone significantly.
Would the other guy be an accomplice? And was this guy on drugs? Because that's not...
Well, here's what we know. We know the other guy was an accomplice in the first theft. Okay? We want to talk to him. Or maybe he legitimately stopped there because he was having trouble with his vehicle and he picks bad company who decides, well, heck, I'll just steal my own car. We don't know the answer to that, but he does not reappear according to our witnesses and victims any longer. He's got an illustrious arrest history for drugs. My experience tells me, and I underscore my experience, it's subject to change. We're early in the investigation. He's acting like he's on meth. That's how they do. They're wild. They're out of control. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care what they do. And quite frankly, he chose, when he couldn't bluff the deputy away, he chose to be shot. And we did exactly what he wanted us to do.
Where did he stab the guy? Because you said he was intubated, so I'm thinking, did he cut his throat or some horrible thing?
Excuse me?
I'm saying, where did he stab the guy?
I don't know, but the guy had to go into surgery. We have an audio tape here that we're going to see if we have more luck with than we did our other one. So we're going to pull Scott in here so he personally gets to be on camera. We're going to play what the helicopter pilot saw, who was also warning the deputy, be careful of him, be careful of him, he's hiding. And the deputy repeats on the air, what you're going to hear, the deputy repeats on the air what he's told by the suspect.
All right, he's in that backyard, go through the fence, he's running eastbound through that backyard. He's running for it, me. All right, he's the fence, use caution, he just did something with his waistband, use caution. It has a gun. 335, behind 335, Griffin and Ellerby. 9283, break. Shots fired, shots fired. Copy, shots fired. Go.
So the helicopter pilot says he's doing something with his waist, and he's warning him, and he's back in that woods and field with that guy all by himself. I am very pleased that our deputy's alive and well. I wake up every morning and I pray for the first responders and specifically my deputies and all police officers that do this job. And then I go to bed at night and I ask that the good Lord watch over them at night. And that's exactly what happened last night. Our guy's okay. The bad guy's in the hospital, and as soon as he's finished at the hospital, he'll be in the county jail charged with a litany of charges. Yes, ma'am. Yes, there was backup on the perimeter that actually got there a very short time later, but they had a perimeter set up with patrol cars because we knew we had him boxed in this particular area. And he was trying to get out of the perimeter because the helicopter picked him up and saw him trying to work his way out of the perimeter when, of course, he met the deputy on the perimeter and he was unable to get away.